Welcome to this week's weekly Pan-African News Roundup on the Kente Business Channel. Here we serve you with all the major news headlines across Africa and the African diaspora. My name is Rahel Lakusia.
In today's headlines, the World Trade Organization commends Ghana's digitalization agenda. Implementation of 3 new taxes in Ghana to begin on May 1. And the African Development Fund and the Smart Africa Alliance launches a $1.5 million project to enhance digital trade across Africa. Now the news in details. The 2023 spring meetings of the World Bank Group and the International Monetary Fund in Washington, D.C. concluded with disappointment among African leaders that the institutions have no interest in reforming their lending model to help countries in dire need. Fears of global recession hang over the meetings due to widespread monetary policy tightening, deteriorating financial conditions, and declining confidence. Issues such as runaway inflation, instability in the banking sector, and the threat of a breakdown in trade due to the growing tensions between the US and China dominated many of the discussions. The Africa High-Level Working Group on the Global Financial Architecture, which comprises of African Ministers of Finance, Planning and Economic Development, as well as African and global multilateral institutions, including the World Bank, called on the fund to sell part of its gold reserves in the medium term to increase the availability of funding. The African Development Fund and Smart Africa Alliance have jointly launched a $1.5 million project to streamline digital trade and e-commerce policies across 10 African countries. The project will see to the implementation of regional training and capacity building programs focusing on cross-border e-payment and e-commerce for government, private sectors, and small and medium-sized enterprises across Africa. These programs are expected to reach 600 participants, with 60% being women and youth. The agreement was signed on Tuesday, 25th April, a day ahead of the 2023 Transform Africa Summit, which takes place in Victoria Falls, Zimbabwe. The President of the Republic of Ghana, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, and the Chancellor of the Federal Republic of Austria, Karl Nehammer, have agreed on key areas of cooperation, primarily on strengthening existing bilateral ties between the two countries. The areas of focus, according to President Akufo-Addo, were on issues relating to economic growth, trade and investment promotion, support for peace and security within West Africa, climate resilience and adaptation, amongst others. He stated that Ghana has also called on Austria to lend its support to the African Continental Free Trade Area, whose secretariat is located in Accra. The AfTA intends to link 54 markets covering 1.3 billion people with a combined GDP of some $3 trillion United States dollars. According to Chancellor Nehammer, Austria will work towards setting up an embassy in Accra, Ghana, to assist and further deepen bilateral engagements. And Tanzania plans to construct the first bridge in Africa spanning 50 kilometers connecting the mainland to the Zanzibar Islands to facilitate the movement of people and commerce. Geoffrey Kasekenya, the Deputy Minister of Works and Transport, also mentioned that the negotiations, which started on March 11, 2023, are already far along. According to him, the prospective investors of China Overseas Engineering Group company, who have expressed interest in helping to build the bridge, were met by both sides. He noted that the idea for building the bridge will involve a partnership with the business sector and that both sides in mainland Tanzania and Zanzibar are still working on the meeting's outcome. This initiative is hardly a surprise owing to the fact that Tanzania's President Samia Suluhu Hassan has made intra-Africa trade a huge agenda for her administration. The Ghana Revenue Authority has disclosed that the 3 revised and new taxes approved by Parliament will commence from May 1, 2023. The GRA indicated that businesses have been given enough time to configure their systems for the taxes to be implemented since the law was passed. The new and revised taxes include 3 key tax measures: the Excise Amendment Act 2023, Income Tax Amendment Act 2023, and the Growth and Sustainability Levy Act 2023. The Minister of Finance, Ken Ofori-Atta, had earlier reiterated the essence of the 3 taxes in Ghana getting a bailout from the International Monetary Fund. He said things will become extremely hard if the government's effort to close the domestic revenue gap continue to stall. The Director General of the World Trade Organization, Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, has commended Ghana's effort to digitalize broad aspects of the country's economy and the entire e-commerce architecture, describing it as the future of trade. Describing digital trade as the wave of the future, Okonjo-Iweala said such vibrant activism by countries like Ghana has informed the World Trade Organization to begin negotiating an e-commerce agreement that will decide the rules of digital trade. The WTO boss discussed this when she paid a courtesy call on the President of the Republic, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, at the Jubilee House on Tuesday, 25 April 2023, on the occasion of her working visit to Ghana as part of a maiden tour of Africa, which also find her visiting Senegal, Cote d'Ivoire, Kenya, Tanzania, and Rwanda. Africa's businesses threw their weight behind the inaugural African Continental Free Trade Area Business Forum held in Cape Town in April to discuss the private sector's role in the initiative. The key objectives of the event were to create awareness of the current trade and investment opportunities in NAFTA, connect businesses to finding opportunities in value chains, establish a private sector engagement platform on implementation, and to examine ways to promote a private sector-friendly environment. Secretary General of the AFTA Secretariat, Romkele Mene, said the initiative has provided Africans with an opportunity to formulate a new type of argument that places development and inclusivity at its heart. According to him, Africa's private sector accounts for 80% of production and 90% of industrialization. Thus, the need to establish the private sector as one of the pillars for the success of the AFTA.
And that's it for this week's weekly Pan-African News Roundup on the Kente Business Journal. Kindly subscribe to our YouTube channel and click on the notification bell to stay updated always. You can also follow us on our social media platforms. Catch you next weekend.
Thank you very much for watching this video. Please do not forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel Kente Business Journal TV and press the notification bell to stay updated always.